Police are at the Morning Tree Park apartment complex after reports of a dead body in the area. Lying next to the dumpster is a body with multiple stab wounds so brutally beaten that it's nearly unrecognizable.
You have a good face shot of the guy?
Not a good face shot because it's like this.
That's why I was
associated.
Officers immediately suspected that one of the tenants in the complex was the killer, but they would be horribly wrong.
There was like blood all over the ground by the dumpster, and that his head looked like a smashed watermelon.
Beat the fuck out of him and then stabbed him in the head.
That's when he started getting him. He hit him a couple of times and then stomped him a couple of times.
A violent, unpredictable teen killer was on the loose, and police needed to find him before he murders again.
Step out of the apartment now. You are surrounded.
Doors open.
Police department!
Early morning of July 30th, 2023, Lakewood police received a call from the Morning Tree Park apartment complex. The caller reported finding something next to a dumpster, describing it as gruesome. Officers were quickly dispatched to investigate.
So who was the one that saw him? Who called? You did, sir?
Me.
So what happened? What did you see? Like, how did this all...
Okay, me and her, was kind of like dumpster digging, right? And I see this red stuff, you know, we can have the dumpster. So I went in there, and I see his body in there.
While dumpster diving, Ted had come across blood leaking out from under the dumpster. When he looked inside, he found an elderly man lying lifeless, bloodied and beaten until his face was no longer recognizable. Officers now needed to identify both the victim and the person responsible. Fortunately, there was someone at the complex who could help them with the former.
So,
I see his blood.
yeah, so I'm just trying to figure out if you might... Sounds like that he's one of your residents.
I can look.
This is Ryan, the apartment complex manager, and he's going to be vital in finding out who the victim actually is.
Because we don't have an ID, right?
No, we don't.
Okay, so let's...
That's not the better, yeah. For now.
So we recognize this guy? Actually, it's not the best picture, but... Do you think you know who he is?
Possibly. If I can see the picture again, it'd be better to identify now.
How about you just give me the name, I can bring up DOL.
He wouldn't be in there.
What's that?
He wouldn't be in there.
Well, I'm sure he'll have some kind of ID.
No,
You don't think so?
absolutely not.
Never?
No.
Okay.
He's a really nice guy, actually, though. I mean, I had a relationship with him, you know, like friend-wise. He don't even trust like anybody with like social security cards or anything. He won't sign a lease. So he'd probably be about 63, 65, somewhere in there. He's partially African American, but he's really light skinned.
Skinny, tall.
Yes.
Skinny.
Yeah. Yeah, that could be Leonard.
What's his last name?
And we're working on that right now.
Well, they're turning their computers on right now, right?
You want to come with me? I can just give you a key. I'll give you a ride over there and ride back if you want.
No. We'll drive over there to go check on him. But yeah, but she's still trying to pull the database.
Yeah, but I can pull a key for you and she'll get that.
Yeah, we'll go check on him. So
right.
A9, I will meet you over there.
I'll meet you. Yeah.
The officers finally had a name, Leonard, but that doesn't solve their biggest problem. According to the manager, Leonard suffered from extreme paranoia and refused to have any form of identification associated with the government. Without proper identification, the investigation would soon become a lot more challenging. Still, officers would search their system, hoping something might come up.
Find it.
I found a couple. I just have to start running them for...
Any DOL or prior bookings or anything? There's bookings. That's
2019.
okay. Now he's dealing with crap too. Okay, we're gonna go to A9 and see if this guy's there. Okay. So Megan, no, do you mind talking to my partner? He's the one that's primary.
Okay.
We're gonna go check that apartment that you gave us. Make sure there's no one in there. But if you want to sit down and hang out.
Okay.
While officers continued searching the database for possible matches, others went to check the supposed victim's apartment. And with help from the manager, they quickly got the key.
Leonard, Lakewood Police, we just need to know that you're okay. If you want to, we'll just announce for Leonard.
Yep. I could yell for him.
Well, both can. Go ahead.
Hey, Leonard! Leonard!
If you're in here, let us know.
After a quick look around the apartment, Leonard was nowhere to be found. At the same time, officers had just matched the victim's face to Leonard's image using police database. So there was no doubt now. The victim was 64-year-old Leonard Williams. Neighbors and staff described Leonard as a friendly and compassionate person. Although he often kept to himself, he was known to be extremely kind to fellow residents. But the investigation was far from over. Officers still had to determine who was behind the brutal attack and why. Back at the scene, one officer had discovered some crucial evidence that would bring the police one step closer to the killer.
Okay, so if you walk that way, and actually, obviously it's dark at that hour, but if you walk that route that you just said, and somebody happened to shine their lights into the dumpster area, you would see him laying there. Was there any trash outside of the dumpster area, the path that you guys would have walked?
This officer just picked up on something crucial. The area around the dumpster was extremely messy, and blood was leaking from it. Any person would have easily spotted that, let alone an officer. Turns out, just 12 hours earlier, police had been dispatched to that same apartment complex on a noise disturbance complaint. The call was made around 8 p.m., and the responding officer's dash cam shows him returning to his vehicle by walking through the side path, the exact one that leads up to the dumpster where Leonard was found. The officer didn't notice any leaking blood or hear suspicious commotion, which means that whatever had occurred had happened after the officer left. From this, the timeline of the murder was vastly narrowed. But more importantly, the disturbance call that the officer responded to had been made about a group of teenagers from the apartment complex unit J54. According to the manager, this group was well known for partying several days of the week and not paying their rent on time. However, little did they know that the police would catch on to what they were doing at last night's party and why there was a dead body just a few feet away from their apartment. As this was the only lead that police had, a search warrant for Unit J54 was issued, and officers quickly arrived at the residence looking for any signs of foul play.
Get the manager in the room.
Oh, there we go. Hey, Brittany, take it, please. Anybody else inside here with you? Hey, come on, let's scoot over here for a second, okay? Who's all in here with you?
Just me and two people.
Where are they at?
Oh, really? No.
What are their names?
Jaden.
Jaden and who?
Jaden and Ty.
Jaden and Ty, come on out. Come on out. Ty, come on out, look at police. Where's he at?
He was to the corner store.
What's that?
He went to the corner store.
You went to the corner store?
When officers arrived, Alina and Jaden were found inside the apartment. One of the teens, named Ty, seemed to have fled when officers arrived, and was nowhere to be found in the unit. His friends claimed he went to the corner store to buy some snacks, but officers would soon discover that was a complete lie. For now, though, officers decided to interview the group, unaware one of them was about to confess to the gruesome details of Leonard's murder. But before we continue, life can change in an instant. That's what happened in November 2021, when a father of two was tragically shot and killed while attending a pop-up party held at an Orlando business complex that lacked proper security. His grieving family needed help fighting for accountability, facing powerful property owners. They turned to the sponsors of today's video, Morgan & Morgan. Their experienced attorneys fought hard and secured an $11 million verdict for the family. If you're seriously hurt because someone else was negligent, your injury could be worth millions. They don't settle for lowball offers. They fight for the maximum compensation you deserve if you become their client. And crucially, unless they win your case, the fee is absolutely free. You pay nothing if they don't win for you. They've achieved significant verdicts recently. They won $12 million for a car crash victim in Florida and $26 million in Philadelphia, often getting 30 or 40 times more than the insurance companies initially offered. Wondering if you have a case? It takes only a few minutes to find out. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan by visiting www.forthepeople.com/insanitybodycam found in the description, or by scanning the QR code on the screen. With that said, let's get back to the investigation. Officers were about to interview the teens who remained in the apartment, suspecting they know more than they've let on.
Not here? Nope. Do you know why we're here? Well, you're not. So I'll make it clear to you. You're not in trouble right now, but you're a witness to something, and so we need to talk about that. Okay?
I wasn't.
I got video.
You can say I was a witness, and I understand, but when I heard what he did, I did not walk down the stairs for a reason.
What did you hear that he did?
I heard that he beat up this dude for really no reason. He said that the homeless guy stepped to him, or the homeless guy asked for a cigarette. Or
How well do you know him?
Chubbs?
Yeah.
I've known him for like a month.
So, did you know what happened here the other night? Yeah, what happened? Tell me a little bit about it.
Chubbs had a little incident.
I can't. You gotta.
Chubbs had a little incident.
Yeah. What was Chubb's incident?
By the garbage can.
Yeah.
You don't know?
Well, I know what happened already. Okay.
Chubbs just would get mad, and people would say that he would do it, he wouldn't do it, and he'd just go on into do it. But
So Chubbs definitely had an angry problem.
yeah, when he's drunk, he would get very violent.
Okay.
He would be very unhappy. The next thing you know, Chubbs flies open the door, and he looks at me, and he's got this smile on his face. He's like, I'm so sorry, but I did something really bad, and I made a big mistake, and I really didn't need to do it. And I go, what'd you do? And that's when his smile completely shut off. So I think he realized, like, he really just took some fun. And he's like, I killed somebody outside.
Did he tell you how he killed him? How did he?
He beat the fuck out of him and then stabbed him in the throat. This guy is laying down on the side of his face, like against this way.
Mm-hmm.
All you see is him, Chubbs is like down on the ground recording him, and then just starts kicking him like it's a joke.
With these two new crucial statements, police now had two suspects at large, Chubbs and Ty, with their primary focus being on 17-year-old Brody Chubbs Brownell. According to Alina, Brody had 2 bottles of tequila and was also high on marijuana the previous night. To make matters worse, he had a reputation for getting violent when drunk. At some point, he briefly stepped outside the apartment and happened to cross paths with Leonard in the parking lot. Leonard may have confronted him about the loud music, or, given his paranoia, he might have simply been talking to himself. Either way, Brody likely saw him as an easy target, and Leonard became the victim of his violent outburst. Alina was also the first to mention something even more disturbing. Brody had recorded the entire thing on Snapchat. He filmed himself beating and stabbing Leonard to death, then sent the video to friends at the party. With Brody as their prime suspect, officers remained on high alert, going so far as to request air support in search for him. In the meantime, police were notified about a male who was running around the Morning Tree complex. He was identified to be Trey Crystal, or Ty, the one who fled from Alina's apartment when the officers had arrived with the search warrant. Shortly after confirming his identity, he agreed to speak with detectives. Detectives needed to determine whether Ty had played any role in the murder, and if he knew where Brody was hiding.
Just tell me a story. Just take me from the beginning to the end. What happened that night?
Yeah, he ended up really drunk, and then he was like trying to fight everyone at the party, but no one would fight him because either they would win and then he was like backing down or stuff like that.
Okay.
So he couldn't fight anyone there. And so he went outside all mad, and then there was this homeless dude or whoever it was walking by, and then he was like, "Oh, keep stepping, keep walking," and then the homeless dude was like, "All right," and then he was like just walking away, and then Chubbs just started getting mad, and then just like ran up on him and punched him, and then he just started stomping on him. After a minute or two, he went up inside, and then he like grabbed the knife, and everyone was trying to stop him, but like he was kind of scary with the knife because he was really drunk.
According to Ty, he fled the apartment out of fear. Although Ty's statement aligned with those of other witnesses, police couldn't definitively rule him out due to his suspicious behavior. But for now, their priority was finding Brody. While the search was still ongoing, officers interviewed everyone who knew Brody to find out where he might have fled, including 2 of his best friends, Miguel Ventura and Dakota Johnson.
I ended up going, basically there was a party posted up that was over at one of our female friends, Britt's house, and eventually Chubbs. I guess he stormed outside. He got really upset. He was drinking 1800 at the time, like Texas tequila. There was someone standing by the garbage cans, and he got really angry at him because I think they were staring at him. He just got closer to him, and I think the dude yelled something at him, and then he just started swinging on him. I get down the stairs, and then that's when he started getting him. He hit him a couple of times, and then stomped him a couple of times. And by that point, like it was too much. Like it was just a lot. I grabbed him by his chest and everything. I tried to pull him.
Was there anybody else that was hitting the guy? Was there anybody else kicking him, hitting him, punching, stomping him? And you had text messages with him shortly after. Can you kind of explain to me about those text messages?
It was like the day after he had done it.
Okay.
He did coke and he beat the crap out of this guy and killed him and stabbed him in the neck. And then there was like blood all over the ground by the dumpster, and that his head looked like a smashed watermelon. He told me that he tried to put him in the trash can himself, but he couldn't do it. So that's why he stabbed him in the neck.
While officers continued interviewing witnesses, Brody had just been located hiding in his family home 40 minutes away in the city of Yelm. A SWAT team quickly descended on the residence, ready to take Brody down if he made any wrong move.
All right, hey, you three? Yep. If there's people milling around up front, we're going to detain them right off the bat, so be ready to go hands as soon as they move up.
They run or we're letting them run, right?
Yeah. All right, we're capped. That team's rolling up. Male in the stairwell. Dom, it's this first entryway right here on the right. Hey, move up. Move up. I want to be able to see that door. Hey, let's bring it back here. No sense in standing out there. No sense in standing out there. There we go. All right, I got hands on her. Okay. You got cuffs? Yep. Okay. All right. All right, step this way. Just keep your hands up.
I want you to set your phone and your drink on that little concrete barrier right there.
You need a sec?
Yep, I got it. Now I want you to step out to me. Come on. Put your hands on your head, flip around, face the building.
Okay. We're good for right now.
Down.
We're just detaining one more.
Hey, come down. Set it down right there. Now put your hands on top of your head and step over to me. I appreciate your cooperation.
I don't know what's going on. So I'm like, what the hell?
Brian and Jeff, the first two to come out, were Brody's friends, staying in the apartment with him. The two claimed they didn't have any knowledge of what was going on or why Brody was being arrested. The next one to come out was their primary target, Brody himself.
Occupation Adam 206.
Remember, I took a study of that.
Step out of the apartment now. You are surrounded.
You guys can even hang here. We're just going to send an entry team up. Just want eyes on them. Okay.
Hey, Jay, just for your knowledge, cell phone and Sprite belong to white t-shirt. Cell phone and what he was holding, black t-shirt.
Okay. All right.
Good?
Kevin, who we got? Ryan, Casas, Mike, and I are going to move up. You guys hold the windows.
Hey, that's primary on
Yep. Primary right there. All right, black shirt. Start walking this way. Start walking this way. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking.
Come here. Walk to me. Face the building. Put your hands on your head.
All right, primary's in custody.
Brody was finally escorted from the house and delivered into the hands of justice. He was charged with assault and homicide in the first degree. He had originally pled not guilty, receiving a bail of $1.5 million. Neither Ty nor anyone else at the party was charged, as the Snapchat video clearly shows that Brody acted alone, consistent with witness statements. Although the exact motive for the murder remains unclear, Brody's extreme intoxication and well-documented issues with aggression led to the tragic death of a kind and gentle person. Following his initial hearing, Brody returned to court and changed his plea to guilty. He received the maximum sentence of 25 years in prison.